Hello everybody and welcome back to another Fear the Walking Dead review. We are now on episode 2. So close, yet so far, but this episode is so much better than episode 1. I really enjoyed this episode a lot. We didn't get much action in episode 1. It was really laying the groundwork for most of the characters. We didn't see the Salazar family. We got a brief look at Liza and Christopher, but that's about it. Really it focused on Madison, a little bit of Alicia. Nick was a really main focal point at some points, and Travis. This time, Nick is in it, but we get a little bit less of him, a little bit more of Alicia's character development. We get a part with the mother going off on her own, Travis going to find Liza and Christopher. All hell is starting to break loose, and slowly but surely society is falling. And we only got to see one zombie in person and a few other little pieces or little tidbits in episode 1. This episode makes up for it a lot. We get to see a lot more zombie action without spoiling too much. That ending was really... It's already starting to feel... The first episode felt like, modern time, nothing's really going on. A little bit here, a little bit there. This episode, I am feeling the transition of before the outbreak, going into the points now where the outbreak's happening. The power's starting to go out, cell phones are starting to die, society is slowly falling. And if you guys remember in the first episode, Tobias, who was one of Madison's students, actually was carrying around a pocket knife because he knew what was coming. And in this episode, we get to see him a little bit more. And he actually goes back to the school to get his knife back. And the mother, now seeing everything that's going on, is starting to kind of believe him. And he knows what's going to happen. I like Tobias because this character is... I feel like he knows, or he's seen the future and knows what's coming next. Because she's like, this is going to blow over. And he's like, no, this isn't going to blow over for a very long time, if ever at all. And I like that because this character knows the world is going to end and things are never going to be the same. We did get to see a character from the first episode, zombified. Lots and lots of really good action here and a lot of really great development. And like I said, the Salazar family finally comes into the picture as well. So now we have all of the characters, at least between these first 2 episodes, finally getting their airtime. The next episode, however, will not be coming out for 2 weeks because we've got Labor Day weekend next weekend. All in all, though, I really enjoyed this episode. I like how it's all happening, but slowly, yet fast enough that we know there's only 4 episodes left, so it's progressing really well. I enjoyed the amount of action in this book. I like how the zombies are slowly growing in numbers. Like, last episode we saw 2. This episode we saw 3 or 4. And society is just slowly falling, and already the police are on their own. They're also a part of the problem, because what was really frustrating me is all this stuff is going on and everybody is willing to ignore it or just not even acknowledging it, and it makes you sit down and think, if this ever did happen in reality, how we as a whole, as a people, would react to this. Would this be exactly what would happen if this happened in reality? I don't know. At least I was thinking that when I was watching them. Like, gee, I wonder, if people started talking about this, I know a lot of people who don't even bother with the news. I wonder how long it would take before this became a problem and people would start actually talking about it beyond just the news, and people started taking it seriously and stop ignoring it. All in all, though, I have to give this episode a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The progression of action, story, and the what's the word I'm looking for? The slow fall of society is also really building up very nicely also, and you're already starting to see a lot of really great stuff. Now, from this point on, I'm going to be adding a couple of spoilers in. So if you guys don't want to hear spoilers, if you didn't watch the episode yet, please stop the video here, go watch the episode, and then you can come back here and listen in on a couple of more of my little thoughts on certain scenes. Unless you want spoilers, because the spoilers are going to commence starting now. I like how Travis and Madison, Nick is coming down from his drugs, so Madison has to find him drugs to slowly wean him off, because he will die. If you cannot go completely cold turkey on drugs, especially when you are such a strong addict. I know a lot of people can. I know a few people that have. I don't know why. In this story, apparently you can't. So she goes back to the school to try to find him something to slowly wean him off of drugs. They decide that bad stuff's happening after the end of the last episode, her and Travis. So they decide they're going to take the kids. He's going to get Liza and Christopher, and they're all going to go into the desert where there are no people around, and they'll be safe. But Travis can't get a hold of Christopher, and he calls Liza, and she doesn't even want to hear it because she doesn't believe she hasn't been paying attention to what's been going on. Thus my point from before. So Travis goes to get Christopher and Liza. Madison's at the school, and then we get to see, spoiler here, remember, the principal zombified. I knew this was coming. I had a feeling since episode 1 that we were going to see this. It happens, and like I said, she's talking with Tobias, and he's telling her all of this stuff that's going to happen, and it's like he knows what's going to happen. He's from the future. And then the principal comes out and attacks Tobias, and it's up to her to save Tobias. So that was a crazy scene. And you could see that Madison is slowly starting to lose it. She can't take it. Travis, his son, Christopher, is in the middle of a protest. The police shot this homeless guy who was attacking. Obviously, it was a zombie. And a zombie does appear during the riot from behind the scenes. However, the zombie gets taken care of really easily, but the world still doesn't know. You got to shoot him in the head to take him out. And we know as viewers that it's a zombie. They don't. They're not willing to accept things yet. However, some people, both police officers and everyday people, are starting to notice that bad shit's happening and society is falling very, very slowly, but falling, and it's getting faster by the day. So you see a lot of people stocking up on water, on food, and they're either planning to leave because the highways are jammed of people leaving the cities, or they're going somewhere safe away from society. So slowly things are happening. Travis and Liza go to find Chris, and Chris is wanting to film what's going on. He's on the side of the protesters without physically protesting. However, hell breaks loose, and that's where we're introduced to the Salazar family. Apparently, the husband is a hairdresser or a barber, whatever. The riot's happening outside, and Travis wants just a safe place to stay until everything blows over. And they let him in with Christopher and Liza, and they stay there. But nothing is stopping. There's huge riots. Now, you got to wonder, though, as these riots are going on, the growth of zombies, the amount of zombies, is also growing. Madison's home, and towards the end of this episode, this was the creepiest one because it reminds me a lot of the first episode of The Walking Dead main series, or The Walking Dead main TV and comic-wise. The mom and daughter are looking out the window, and they see a zombie, which they aren't classifying as zombies yet, attacking one of the neighbors across the way. And Alicia, who still has no idea what's going on, she is the most naive and annoying person in the beginning of the episode. Her boyfriend's bit. We all know what's going to happen to Matt. That's her boyfriend's name, by the way. And she doesn't want to leave his side. Nick is trying to tell him what's going on. She doesn't want to hear it. The mom hasn't exactly told her yet. But anyway, this zombie's attacking this woman, and Alicia wants to go help the neighbor, and the mom knows there's no way to stop them unless you somehow, I guess she knows, but they're not admitting that she knows. You have to get them in the head. So she doesn't want her daughter going out there. So instead, she shuts the door, shuts the blinds, locks the door, and across the way, a woman is getting attacked by one zombie. It's one zombie alone. And you're starting to see that Walking Dead, you know, society's over. You've got a real problem that is slowly growing to epic proportions. And we all know it's going to escalate to the point where society is completely going to be gone. And, you know, everybody's going to be jumping here, there, and everywhere to survive. This was a really excellent episode, a very creepy ending. If I was in that family's shoes, especially knowing that my windows aren't boarded up, I don't know what's happening that would be a very scary situation. And obviously we're going to be seeing more of what's going on with the Clark family, because Travis, remember, is stuck with Christopher and Liza somewhere else in the city. So they're going to be separated at least until the middle to end of next episode. I'm really enjoying the way this is developing. A really interesting story. Fear the Walking Dead is definitely building up very nicely. The action is slowly progressing. The degression or the degeneration of humanity is progressing really nicely. I definitely am starting. I'm not 100% behind a sequel, a follow-up season yet, but I can definitely see it developing as we move forward. Now, we're only in episode 2. There's still, like I said, there's still 4 more episodes to go. But the way it's going, if it keeps this steam and this build-up going, I definitely, absolutely can see a season 2. And after talking with my good friend Jay from Comic Frontline, actually, you can keep, I agree with Jay, you can definitely keep Fear the Walking Dead going and have this group of survivors in the same time period as Rick, if you really wanted to. Maybe even have a crossover at some point. I don't know. I don't know where they're planning to go with Fear the Walking Dead. I do hope they keep at least some of the characters alive. I mean, these are characters that are not part of the comic universe, not part of the mythos, universe of Walking Dead. So each and every one of them at any moment is expendable. And I have a feeling before this is over, one or more of them are going to be killed, to put it bluntly. I guess we'll have to wait and see which one it will be and why and how. But if Alicia continues to stay in the dark, she is definitely prime suspect number 1 in my opinion. What do you guys think? Which character has the biggest potential of being killed before season 1 is over? Which character can't you see dying and surviving, through the zombie apocalypse to when Rick finally wakes up? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys thought of episode 2. I definitely thought it got a little bit better. Definitely progressing very nicely. And with that, that's it, guys. Don't forget to check out ComicFrontline.com. We got lots of reviews coming at you guys. Comic books, movies, TV, lots of stuff this week's coming your guys' way. Frontline Live, coming back. We took a week off. We're coming back this Tuesday. Also, don't forget to check out Zone4Podcast.com. Lots of stuff going on there. As a matter of fact, 123 Podcast should be going up very soon. The first episode of the Wrestling Podcast Show with myself and Brett and 2 people whom we will be announcing on the first episode. I don't know if they'll be there on the first episode, but we will be announcing things in the first episode. And also, don't forget to check out Frontline Gaming Zone. We got lots of games, and we actually just got Until Dawn. No hints, but just mentioning. So look forward to lots of stuff on there. And until next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, keep watching when it comes to TV. And I will see you guys really soon in the next video.